It's Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. Or sad Wednesday, if that's your vibe. I'm going to be watching a movie I've never seen before. I heard that it's about some guy with scissors for hands, and I haven't seen it yet. So hope you all can enjoy this misery together. Misery is better when shared. Let me know why you stumbled upon this depressing channel. And if you have any depressing thoughts, feel free to share. If you have any dark thoughts, feel free to share. Dark humor is the vibe tonight. So if I walked into this place, I wouldn't be scared at all. I'd feel right at home. I'd be very content. Seems like a great place for sulking, questioning the point of all this existence. A wonderful place to dwell in misery. I kind of wish I could meet this Edward Scissorhands, because I've been looking for someone to decapitate roses and neighbors. Oh gosh. At least if he scratches his face in his sleep, he wakes up and looks like a Picasso painting. Although I must say, with these scissor hands, he could win a thumb war, without even having thumbs. Wow, what a story. Wow, beautiful scoring, beautiful cinematography. What a unique, very original film. What did we learn from Edward Scissorhands? It's not just a gothic fairy tale about a man with blades for fingers. It's a dissection of conformity. The pastel nightmare of suburbia swallowing up anything different. Edward is gentle, kind, artistic, and yet society reduces him to his dangerous appendages. It's that same story we've heard before. People worship what's novel and then crucify it when it refuses to conform and behave. So I respect the theme. And Tim Burton, he didn't just make a love story. I feel like this film argues that true beauty often comes wrapped in danger, that innocence is mistaken for menace, and that the world would rather destroy what it doesn't understand than accept it, which is why Edward's isolation feels like freedom compared to the suffocating normalcy of the suburbs. The pastel suburbia, it feels almost like a trap where the curtains match the neighbor's teeth and gossip circulates faster than the flu, and into this world that Tim Burton drops Edward. It's a lonely creation with scissors for hands. As Wednesday Addams, I must say, I love that there is a protagonist as impractical as he is misunderstood. I can relate to that. It is interesting how this film is marketed as a romance, but in reality, it's like an autopsy of conformity. Edward is adored when he provides spectacle, shrubbery, mutilation, haircuts that resemble electrical accidents. But he's discarded once he frightens the herd, the sheep. There's a line in here where Edward says, "We're not sheep." I think that's really important. That line really stood out to me. It's like an old story we've heard before. Society tolerates difference until it grows inconvenience or sharp. And I must say, Johnny Depp is amazing in this. He plays Edward with this wide-eyed innocence of a mortician's doll. And Winona Ryder also embodies Kim, great name, with the emotional turmoil of someone realizing they've fallen for a man who could accidentally fillet them during a hug. It's kind of like When we all fall for someone, there's always the chance that they could hurt us, because we're all imperfect beings. And I must say, their chemistry is tragic and magnetic, which is the only kind of chemistry really worth watching as Wednesday Addams. I love the tragic chemistry. And visually, Burton, he contrasts Edward's gothic isolation with this neighborhood so aggressively pastel. They feel like an afterlife is punishment. It's clever. The supposed normal world is grotesque in its cheer, while the monster is the only thing that actually feels real. His character has heart, whereas all the other characters just feel phony, right? And I do like the moral. The moral, if you insist on having one, is that love cannot survive when fear dictates the rules, in my opinion. In the end, Edward retreats to his lonely mansion, sculpting frozen angels from blocks of ice. He makes beauty, but remains untouchable, which is a perfect metaphor for art itself. Seen, admired, but never truly embraced. It's bittersweet. It's a hauntingly pretty fairy tale for anyone who has ever been called strange or dangerous or both. I can certainly relate. I think on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it 5 freshly dug graves out of 5. I don't see anything wrong with this movie other than maybe it's unrealistic, but nobody would watch this movie if they wanted realism, But the metaphor is beautiful, I feel like anybody who's ever felt like an outcast or anybody who's ever felt different from everyone around them can really relate to this movie. And I love that oftentimes it's what's different that makes us special and beautiful. Our differences aren't something to be ashamed of, and I love that. I love that theme that we should celebrate our differences. And even if a lot of people in society think we're weird, who cares? Just enjoy being you, creating your own art. Even if you are living in isolation, I feel like that's, in a sense, you're more free than these sheep, these people that are just conforming to these silly rules. I love that it's mysterious, it's kind of dark, it's quirky, it's funny, and there's a little romance. Cinematography is beautiful. I love the art direction. I love the costuming. This was made in 1990, so it still holds up today, I feel. I wish they would make more films like this today. There's just something so raw about Johnny Depp and the way he plays characters. There aren't too many actors like Johnny Depp these days. This kind of reminds me of a poem I read. So this is what this movie reminds me of. Let them be as flowers, always watered, fed, guarded, admired, but harnessed to a pot of dirt. I'd rather be a tall, ugly weed, clinging on cliffs like an eagle, wind wavering above high, jagged rocks, to have broken through the surface of stone, to live, to feel exposed to the madness of the vast eternal sky, to be swayed by the breezes of an ancient sea, carrying my soul, my seed, beyond the mountains of time or into the abyss of the bizarre. I'd rather be unseen, and if then shunned by everyone, than to be a pleasant smelling flower growing in clusters in the fertile valley where they're praised, handled, and plucked by greedy human hands. I'd rather smell of musty green stench than of sweet, fragrant lilac. If I could stand alone, strong and free, I'd rather be a tall, ugly weed. It's beautiful. I feel like this echoes the theme of this movie. If anyone else has any movie suggestions, comment in the chat. And if you're watching this after the live, still comment in the chat. Let me know your thoughts about the film. Let me know if you like the poem. Let me know. I feel like this is a film that can be very, very touching in many ways. And I would love to hear how this film makes you feel and think. I think it's really important to talk about how films impact our lives. That's the whole point of filmmaking.